written probably in 1652. The poem on his blindness is the poet John Milton's first reference to his blindness in his poetical compositions. This poem is presumed to be written at a time when blindness first affected the poet when he was about 44 years old. Although brief, this is a deeply moving poem which reflects the challenges that this literary icon was facing due to his inability to see with his eyes. Welcome back to the channel, my friends. This is Mahjabeen, and today I am going to explain John Milton's poem on his blindness. When I consider how my light is spent, so the poet says, when I think about how my light, that means my eyesight is spent, how it has been lost. When the poet thinks about his eyesight, his eyes with which he cannot see anymore, ere half my days, the poet says that he had lost his eyesight, he had lost his vision even before he had crossed half his life in this dark world and wide. And now that he is a blind man, the entire world appears dark to him, and it appears to be a big, challenging world. And that one talent which is dead to hide, at the same time when he is thinking about his lost eyesight, he also thinks about his talent, his poetic skills, the skills that God had given him. It would be death to hide his skills, but now that he can no longer compose poetry without his eyesight, he feels that he will not be able to, it would be like hiding his skills, and that would be like death to him, that is death of his spirit. Lodged with me useless, because his poetic skills would be living with him in a useless way, because he would not be able to write poetry now that his eyesight is gone. Though my soul more bent, but at the same time the poet also says that his soul, his inner instinct is more keen, is more bent, more determined to serve therewith with my Maker. He wants to serve his God, he wants to serve his Creator by composing good poetry and present my true account. And he also wants to compose poetry, keep writing poetry, so that through his words he is able to present his true story before God. He is able to express his inner self before God, lest he return in chide. Otherwise he is afraid that, lest means otherwise, he is afraid that God would scold him. God would scold him, because he had not made proper use of his poetic skills. He had not expressed his poetic skills, the skills that that God had given him. Then he asks a question. This is the question he raises. He says, "Dot" means does. Does God exact? That means, does God expect day labor, light denied? So he says he wants to know if God expects labor from a man. Does God expect work from a man who is blind, to whom light has been denied? So does God expect work from a blind man? This is what he wants to know. I fondly ask, this is something he asks foolishly, because he says this is something he should have already known, the answer of which he should have already known, but this is something he asks foolishly. Fondly means foolishly, but patience to prevent. But patience, patience is the power of endurance. Patience is being personified here. So when he raises this question, "Doth God exact day labor, light denied?" Patient listens to him, and patience comes forward to give him a reply. So in order to prevent his murmur, his question, patience gives him a reply. That murmur soon replies. So when patient Patience hears that murmur of the poet, the moment Patience hears that murmur, Patience comes up with a reply. God doth not need either man's work or his own gifts. So Patience says, this is the reply that Patience gives to the poet. Patience says that God does not need man's work or his own gifts. God does not expect anything from man, and God also does not want man to return the gifts that God had blessed man with. Who best bear his mild yoke, they serve him best. The people who have the capacity to endure the challenges, the light challenges that God puts in front of him, those are the people who serve him best. Who best bear his mild yoke. Mild yoke means light challenges, light burdens. The people who have the capacity to face those challenges, they are the ones who serve God the best. His state is kingly. Patience continues and says that the condition of God is, the situation of God is majestic. It is like a king. Thousands at his bidding speed. There are thousands of angels who rush at his order. Bidding means order. And post over land and ocean without rest. And they travel over land and ocean without waiting, without any rest. These are the people, the moment God places an order, there are thousands who travel over land and ocean in order to fulfill God's demand. They also serve who only stand and wait. And the last line is very interesting. Patience also says that those people who stand and wait for their turn, who wait patiently, they are also the ones who serve God. It is not that only the angels have the capacity to serve God. Those people who have been deprived of their vision, those people who are handicapped, those people who wait patiently in order to serve their turn, they are also the ones who get rewarded by God. God acknowledges their service. God acknowledges their patience, and they are also the ones who give service to God. With that, I come to the end of this explanation. I will be uploading the summary of this poem on his blindness, composed by John Milton. Consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon. Bye.